Hey, it's Sunny from Pool House Recordings and No Wake, and we're continuing our breakdown of the album Wait What by No Wake. Let's get to the next song. This is the song that's called WAT or Rewind. It's in parentheses, Rewind. My drummer Tim kept just like calling it Rewind, even though I told him it was called WAT. You know, it was like, all right, I guess makes sense. Rewind. It's part of the lyrics. This song was titled WAT as a tribute to the infamous meme, which I have right here pulled up. That thing. WAT. Yeah. That's the title of this song. Anyway, let's start off here. Our intro, we've got what I believe is multiple. I'm not positive if Doug found that on Splice or if that's like multiple parts of the carbon copy overlapping each other. I'm not sure, but it sounds like an airplane landing or something, or taking off, or just flying by. I think it's the delay, but cool riff right over. And then originally it was just this riff and then slamming into the full band section. But I think one of us was like, oh, it feels a little empty. I feel like we should have a little more. So Tim came up with this drum part that took it a long way. We like it, and we ended up liking it a lot. It gives it more of this like Circa Survive kind of vibe. It's just like 16th notes on the hi-hat. And with a kick. Super cool together. And then it slams into the full band section. With the super fuzzy rhythm guitars. The ballads and composure inspired rhythm guitars. Move on to the verse. It is stripped down. There's a couple lead guitar tracks going on. It's really not that stripped down. It's it's full band, but it's chilled out. There's a cool Dance Gavin Dance Will Swan kind of style lead going on here that the bass follows along with. Drums pretty much following along. Really cool drum part here by Tim. It's almost harder to hear in the record itself, but it follows along with the lead guitar when it does this. Yeah, that super cool little fill. He's just using the rim and the kick together. Super cool fill. and then until a where's the other guitar? Like a Manchester Orchestra Taking Back Sunday kind of style rhythm, like another lead on the other side going on here as well. Added a cool dynamic because you have the one like crazy dance like Will Swan style lead on this side, and then you have this like alt rock Manchester Taking Back Sunday kind of vibe on the other side, which just like a yeah. Next, we're going into the chorus. This is like kind of the pre-chorus section. We have this like weird stutter beat going on here. Really cool sound. This was really tedious to make. We took this from my demo and slapped it on the final here, and because it was very tedious to make and even more tedious to slap on, because we took this, I think it was for like 157 BPM, and we made it 160. It just felt like it needed to be a little faster. So then Doug was sitting here on Elastic Audio trying to get it to sound right. But I basically took like I recorded like a harmonic with a super heavy fuzz on it and delay and all that, and I was just playing different harmonics here. And I went and I could have just added a tremolo or something. I went and it was like, I hear this pattern in my head and I really want to emulate it the way I hear it in my head. So I went and I chopped it up. In Pro Tools in every little section individually, and I completely chopped it up. And I was doing like half bars, quarter bars, full bars, and then chopping it up to hear it exactly how I wanted. It was super tedious, but the end result sounds pretty cool to me. But in context, it's gonna sound like this. And then we mix that in with like the rhythm guitar, doing a delay thing. When Doug was spinning the delay time on the carbon copy just to like get it, and I think he added a tremolo at the end just to go along with this more effect. And it looks like he did something with the vocals that I didn't actually know was in here myself. I'm discovering new things. He added like a delay on my vocal. That's pretty cool. I actually didn't even know that was there, so that's cool. Thanks, Doug. Always surprising me even 3 years later. It's just production extras, just a secret you're not allowed to hear. Yeah, so what's embarrassing for me is soloing these high harmonies on the chorus here. It's very high, and I had to scream the hell out of them. You might not even hear them. It might sound like an effect on the main vocal, but it's there, and I sang these in the studio. It's high. Oh god, it sounds so weird. Soloed. It sounds cool in the mix, but like it was hard to get up there, man. But you had to do it for the you got to do it for the song. So lead guitar here. Where's the lead? Lead guitar. Chorus starts, it's just two rhythm guitars going on. No lead. And then once the lead does kick in halfway through, you know we have that phase 90 on there turned all the way up. Watery sound makes your head feel wobbly. I love it. And then we turn it off for the riff, because the riff sounds cool as is. Doesn't need the phaser. And then he's little effect out with the phaser, just to like bring you into the next section there. This next section, here, interesting little bit that we decided not to put bass. Maybe it was just me. I decided not to put bass in this verse. Well, we bring it back here halfway through the verse, but the first half of this verse, no bass, just rhythm guitar and drums. In my demo, so the way I write demos is just like I start with guitar and program drums, and then I'll throw vocal. That's how I do like my songwriting, and then I'll add bass later when I feel like it. When I started adding bass to this demo, I started playing the bass part to this verse, and I was like, it just doesn't hit right. So I opted to do this, and I just didn't put bass in this part, and it sounded awesome, especially when the bass does kick in and you finally notice, oh, there's the bass. Like, you don't really notice that it's not here until it comes in, but it's a cool effect. I love this tone. And I love that chord. And it's not like, oh, I'll be right back. That chord, it sounds like there's two guitars going on. And Doug actually asked me if I wanted to record one note at a time so we can layer them. I love these kinds of chords. So that chord is actually, it's just a huge seventh, maybe? I'm not positive. I'm not great at music theory. But it's just, and then you really stretch it. So your first finger's on it's a drop C sharp. First finger's on the low string, then the D string, you got the on the 7th fret. So you're really just stretching out. And then you move it to 7 and 10. And then move it down to 9 and 5. Really cool chords. I love that sound. It sounds, it almost sounds sad, but not. I don't even know the emotion it brings me. Um, sounds like, I don't know. It's almost like sad but tired. Like tired of this, which is exactly what this verse is about. It's actually exactly what this verse is about, which is funny. Yeah, I mean that's the rhythm guitar really shows the same emotion as the verse. It's so empty your thoughts to control my lust, meaning like just bash me so that I don't feel anything for you. I'm sorry I went nuts. I'm just feeling everything. It's like when you're like love someone but you're mad at them, but you're also sad about what's going on, and you're feeling all the emotions in a situation. And this was during a time of like it wasn't during a time, but it was about like an old time where this is like a lot of us have had these where it's like on and off kind of relationships, blah blah blah. The next lyric is just hit play or pause. I've had enough of fun. I mean, it's just on and off. This is enough. I've had enough of fun. And the final line is someone who's like very manipulative and almost take pride in it, or almost take like they almost have fun with it, playing with people. So if you can keep up the sadistic side of you, then I'll be. And then the play is, I've had enough of fun. If you could keep up the sadistic side of you, then I'll be done. What is the rhyme that it should be? And that was the original, but we changed it to be conflicting with in love. Because it's like, oh, if you can keep up the sadistic side of you, then I'll be. Because we're talking about hating this the whole time. But we bring into the fact that it's a cycle. It's a vicious cycle where just hit play or pause. I've had enough of fun. But if you can keep the sadistic side of you, then I'll be in love. It's just like that is the vicious cycle of this kind of relationship, toxic relationships. Couple things to uncover here is the bass. When the bass does kick in, and Tim brings back his 16th note hi-hats. Yeah, super cool. And then the lead guitar also kicks in with the bass. Obviously, phase 90 turned all the way up. And then Doug took a part of this, of the demo here. and just like detuned it. Sounds pretty cool. Just as a quick transition, so it flows well into the chorus. It sounds like you're detuning a guitar right before. Really cool effect. Then, what else is on the vocal there? There's something else on the vocal. It's just like a little bit of more of a lo-fi or kind of just to have it sit in the background. It sounds like I'm yelling in the room. Another cool thing that you can hear in here is the drum. This is a really cool little section. I love this verse. This is one of my favorite verses I've ever written. We took the end. Originally, there was nothing else here. It was just this little dip. The weird little... Tim was like, I think it was actually Doug who was like, we should throw drums in there. And I was like, nah, it's cool because it all needs to stop. And then Doug was like, no, trust me, Tim, do this beat, whatever. So Tim brought back the beat after the 16th hi-hat notes. Brought back this beat. And then we took that from the room track. This is a room track, and Doug added a tremolo and I think a flanger to the drum and gave it and set it way in the background. Yeah, super cool part. Into another chorus. Nothing different about this chorus. These bass tones are all really cool, and I kind of want to bring up what they were. So this is the bass setup. We had plugged into a DI and then split into this DI as well. So there's two DIs. This is the Sansamp, the classic Sansamp bass driver DI. Sounds great. Use this on everything and blend it. And this is most of the low end of our basses. And then I don't remember which one is which. I think this is the clean Ampeg. So this was most of the low end on this is the clean low end part of the bass, and whenever we needed clean bass tones, this is what we took it from. Mic'd up with the 421, the vintage 421, and then mic'd up with the kick drum mic here. I think that's the AKG D12. Then a Gallien-Kruger head. These are the dirtier tones on the record. We've recorded the entire record with this. We recorded these two mics, the Sansamp DI and a normal actual clean DI as a backup, and Doug mixed all of these or whatever he did together to get the bass tone that we wanted. Another honorable mention for this track is, well, not just this track, but most of the tracks. So at Retro Media, they have this box reverb unit that's in the closet somewhere, and it's from like the 70s or the 60s, I believe, and it's just a huge metal plate in this wooden box, and they send their audio through it and back into it, and it has I guess it has a little mic in it, and your sound will reverb off of this metal plate. That's where plate reverb comes from, is these old box units that they're emulating. But we had the opportunity to actually use one of these things at the studio. And where is it? Yeah, here's it in the room. It was back in this weird little random closet to this big box reverb. What that is basically just a huge wooden box with a metal plate inside of it, send audio through, and then picks back up. We sent all of the snares through this for the whole record. Really cool. Next, through this track, we have the breakdown. So this breakdown has a couple things going on. Cool part halfway on the breakdown. Dirty bass tone. See, this is the bass tone we might have gotten. I think this might be the I know we used this on Oxygen as well, but he had this old like 90s Russian black big muff, the huge big muff box. Sounds brutal. And then we have the rhythm guitars on here doing this trick of like you start with a harmonic on the 5th fret and you slide the way down to the 2nd, and it gets high. The harmonic gets higher and higher as you go, and you just keep going. Deftones ass, post hardcore new metal ass breakdown here. So the lead guitar follows along with the phaser, of course. And we had to start this riff early, actually, so that we could get the swells from the previous guitar in here. Well, that's the end. We layered this with an acoustic. The acoustic we recorded with a Taylor guitar on 2 ribbon mics, I believe. So one was the M160, I think, and then the other one was the Coles 4038. I don't know which one Doug ended up using, but both sounded awesome. The ribbon sounds really good with the Taylor because the Taylor's really bright. So the ribbons kind of dial that back a little bit, make them sound a little more full. But this part sounds awesome. And then there's a little high lead, really distorted high lead hidden in here that Sebastian, I think, came up with. It's all cool with the ending here. Very pretty ending. I think that's the end. Yeah, that's it. It's the end of the song. This actually turned out to be a longer video than the others. I thought there was less to talk about, but there was a lot hidden in this 4-minute song. Whoops. If you want more content like this, click the follow button. Subscribe on YouTube, whatever the hell, and follow on Instagram. Both No Wake and Pool House Recordings. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you later.